From Charles E. Siller Jr. comes the 1984 psychological slasher film that is both a Christmas horror film at its core, but also has the 1980s charm and cheese and camp that many of us cherish within movies like this, featuring a killer Santa Claus, an abundance of the word punish, and an uncomfortable amount of nuns. Let's take a look at Silent Night, Deadly Night. Silent Night, Deadly Night is a good example of one of those horror movies I saw as a kid, but not as a young kid, and certainly not as young as I was watching The Exorcist, Chucky movies, Leatherface movies, Freddy, Jason, you name it. I don't think I saw this movie until I was about 9 or 10, probably only about a year or so before I first saw the original Black Christmas, which is weird to think about now. I remember seeing the VHS tapes of these movies on shelves as a kid and being absolutely fascinated by them. But it wasn't until 96 or so, I believe, that I finally rented the original movie. And you want to hear something really strange about the Silent Night, Deadly Night franchise? The first movie of this series that I ever saw was The Toy Maker, which is part 5. Not 1, not 2, not 3, not even 4, but part 5. That was my introduction to the franchise, which is funny considering how different a film Part 5 is compared to the rest, and especially to the first 2 or 3. I do love Part 5 though, for the record, but yeah, took me a while to finally see the original, but man, when I did finally watch it, what a horror movie, huh?
Put the money in the bag.
So it's not all phony sentiment, is it?
A lot of it's genuine greed.
All right, you.
Silent Night, Deadly Night focuses on the character of Billy Chapman, a traumatized young man who was recently released from the orphanage upon his 18th birthday, having spent most of his childhood there after witnessing his parents get murdered by a man dressed as Santa Claus when he was just 5 years old. After normal life becomes increasingly difficult for Billy, especially regarding his job at a toy store during the Christmas season, Billy soon loses his mind entirely, bringing back flashbacks of his parents and setting Billy on a path of murder, mayhem, and madness, in which he rampages through the town dressed as Santa Claus. When the rampage finally ends, several people are slaughtered, the children of Billy's orphanage are surely traumatized, and Billy's younger brother, Ricky, seems to be sharing his older brother's sentiment, a sign of things to come, no doubt.
Garbage day! Huh? No!
I pretty much love everything about this movie, from the plot, to the execution of the story, the set decorations, the costumes, the music, the cinematography, everything, especially the acting. There's a sincerity to the acting in this film that, while cheesy and hokey at times, really makes these wacky characters feel real within the confines of the story. And I think that's a big part of why this film has become so beloved over the last few decades. Is it a perfect movie? No. But name me one movie that is absolutely perfect, and I'll give you a list of why it actually isn't. The point is, what the movie leaves you with, what kind of impression it makes, and if it has enough replay value for you to eventually want to see it again. Imperfections in movies are abundant in each and every film, even the very best ones, and that's a fact.
Have you been good? Or have you been naughty?
Good.
Are you sure?
Silent Night, Deadly Night has become an annual Christmas staple for me, especially over these past 5 or 6 years. After my initial viewing of the film back in the mid-90s, I only saw the film a few more times between that and my purchasing of the film on Blu-ray back in 2017. But now, I pretty much can't get through the Christmas season without watching this movie. Definitely in my top 10 favorite Christmas horror movies, if not my top 5. So I guess that's saying something. It's filled to the brim with memorable scenes, memorable characters, the original score is great, has a fantastic Christmas vibe, and really has that mid-80s cheese and hokiness that I think adds to its overall charm. I need to point out how awesome Robert Brian Wilson is as well, both as a sympathetic boy you really feel bad for, as well as the murderous Santa serial killer that's become a staple of the Christmas horror subgenre. Plus, Old Man Peabody's in the film.
Take that, you mutated son of a bitch!
With that said, Charles Siller Jr.'s infamous 1984 Christmas slasher, Silent Night, Deadly Night, is a masterpiece.